All right, today we're tackling a really fascinating question, one that's been debated for ages. Are the ancient Vedic traditions and the incredibly rich Tamil heritage two completely separate rivers of culture, or do they actually flow from the very same source? We're going to uncover the answer by looking through the timeless wisdom of one of the most revered sages of our time. And our guide for this journey? None other than the great Kanchi Mahaperiyava. His teachings, all compiled in this monumental work called Deivathin Kural, which means the voice of God, give us a really powerful way to see the deep organic unity between these two traditions. So let's start where he does, with that big, fundamental question. You see, Kanchi Mahaperiyava's work doesn't just hand you simple answers. It starts by facing a huge, timeless question right head-on, a question that really gets to the very heart of South Indian identity. So here it is, the core puzzle. Are we looking at two totally distinct cultural rivers that just happen to run side by side for a while, or do they share the same ancient headwaters? Well, the evidence, as laid out by the sage of Kanchi, is pretty compelling, and it all starts with something really basic, the words themselves. Okay, so how do you even begin to unravel something like this? Well, you start with the most fundamental building block of any culture, its language. Because if a concept is truly native, a culture will have its own word for it. I mean, think about it. Words like radio or bus, right? We just borrow them because the idea itself is new to us, it's foreign. But when you look at the most sacred core ideas of the Vedic world, ancient Tamil didn't need to borrow anything. The words were already there, woven right into the fabric of the language. And we're not just talking about some one-to-one dictionary translation here. Mare and Velvi are these rich, ancient Tamil words that perfectly capture the essence of Veda and Yagna. This points to something much deeper, a shared philosophical foundation that was understood by everyone. Just take the word Marai. This is absolutely fascinating. It doesn't just mean Veda. The word itself, Marai, means that which is hidden. It tells you how the knowledge was meant to be treated, as sacred, secret, something to be protected and passed down only through a disciplined lineage. The entire method of Vedic transmission is right there, encoded in a single Tamil word. It's just incredible. Okay, so we've seen the connection in the language itself. Now, let's see how this thread weaves its way into one of the greatest pieces of Tamil literature, the Kural, which many people call the Tamil Vedic. In this verse, the great sage Tiruvalluvar lists out these 5 big duties for anyone running a household. But here's the thing you have to watch for. The order he puts them in is everything. It's not random at all. It's profoundly significant. And this is the real kicker. He puts Tempulatar, the ancestors, before Devam, the deities. Now, why is that such a big deal? Because that's a direct reflection of a core Vedic principle, where honoring your ancestors is considered the primary duty, a duty that comes even before the worship of the gods. So let's just lay it out. The idea is that everything you have, your earnings, and your life, is dedicated to this larger whole. You share it 5 ways. First to your ancestors, then to the divine, then to guests, then your relatives, and only at the very end to yourself. You see what's happening here? It's this beautiful idea of a life built on duty and sacrifice, where your own needs come last. And that right there is the absolute bedrock of Vedic Dharma. Tiruvalluvar isn't just giving it a little nod. He's presenting it as the highest, most noble way for the Tamil people to live. So this incredible philosophy wasn't just something for poets and sages to think about. Nope. It was the actual law of the land, something that the great Tamil kings actively championed and protected. And history backs this up with some amazing examples. You had the Chola king Karikala, who literally declared that anyone who opposed the Vedic way was his personal enemy. There was a Pandya king who was actually nicknamed He of Many Yagnas. And all over the kingdom, they set up these Chaturvedi Mangalams, entire villages given tax-free status for the sole purpose of making sure the study of the 4 Vedas would always thrive. This wasn't just culture. This was state policy. So we've got the language, the literature, the law, all pointing in the same direction. But maybe the most important piece of the puzzle is that this was a living faith, something cherished by the saints and by ordinary people every single day. I mean, you have the great poetess Avyar, whose advice to children begins with the command, do not let a single day go by without Vedic study. And then you read the beautiful hymns of the saints, the Oswars and Nayanmars, and it's like you're right there in those temple towns, where the air was literally thick with the smoke from secret fires, and the sound of Vedic chants was all around you.
And that really brings us full circle, right back to the wisdom of Kanchi Mahaperyava. He concluded that no matter what changes have swept through over the centuries, this deep-seated faith, this connection, has never really gone away. It's embedded in the very soul of the people. It seems the Vedic and Tamil streams were never really separate after all.
Well, thank you so much for coming along on this little journey with us. If this has sparked something in you and you want to go even deeper into this kind of wisdom, we actually have a great recommendation for you from our friends at Kosh. It's a channel called Kosh, and what they do is pretty amazing. They share all this spiritual wisdom in English, Hindi, Marathi, Tamil, Gujarati, and Bengali, with even more languages on the way. Their whole goal is just to bring these timeless treasures of Sanatana Dharma to you, but in a way that's super simple, clear, and really meaningful. You can find so much on their channel, things like the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, the Mahabharata, and yes, even more from Deivathin Kural, the very source we drew from today, plus so many stories of great saints. So if this sounds like something you'd be into, definitely go subscribe to Kosh. That way you won't miss any of their daily videos. And hey, while you're there, you know the drill. Don't forget to like, share, and help spread this incredible knowledge with your family, your friends, and your whole community. Let's all work together to keep the light of Sanatana Dharma shining bright, which really leaves us with one final thought. After seeing how deeply this wisdom is woven into a culture's soul, how will you share this light today?